So you never actually went back to Stoughton in uniform?
I never, ever went to Stoughton Barracks. When we had to go to Chester, which was this headquarters of this medical unit, and they said, well, where do you want to get demobbed? Where do you live? I said, well, there's a demob centre at Guildford. All right, fair enough. Everybody else seemed to come from the north, and I came down to Guildford by myself, and all the others went somewhere up north. But I came down there, and when I got to, well, the billets were actually in Queen's Camp. So I said, well, can I go on? Well, they said, where do you live? Because we want to get you processed. Oh, I said, as the crow flies, I said, about a mile. Oh, yeah, that's all right. And, yeah, go, you know, away you go, sort of thing. And we came back the next day, medical, demob papers, one thing and another. And the, you know, the... well, it was an ordnance depot, I think, was built between the two camps, between Stoughton Barracks and Queen's Camp. That was used as the civilian clothing unit. And I'd never worn a hat in my life, and I remember coming out there with this pork pie on, you know. And anyway, we went down, they took us down into Guildford, and we went off. Most of them went by train. I got on a bus, and there we are.
And then you settled down to life in
I
Guildford?
settled, yeah, well, I settled down, as I said, I was working at the co-op in a grocery shop, in a green grocery shop rather, and I was anxious to get back, and it was November when we got demobbed, and I said, well, I'll come back after Christmas. Well, then they said, oh, you couldn't come back before, help us through the rush. So, yeah, all right, fair enough. But as soon as I got back there, I thought, no, this is not for you. I don't know, you know, whether I wanted something a bit more exciting or what, but it was, well, a bit of a job really, because you see I hadn't got a trade to come back to. Anyway, I went down with Ron. He didn't want to go back to vulcanised fibre, I think it was. He worked at was it Shelford? Yeah. And so we said, well, look, let's go down the Labour Exchange. So we went down the Labour Exchange, and there's no boy in there. Well, I'd known him for donkey's years. You know, he lived just along the road from us, but I didn't know where. I know he went off, all done up in the morning. I didn't know where he worked. Oh, I'll come down the end of the counter, he said. I'll see what I can find for you. So he got this great big book out, and he's going through the page. No, that's no good, he said. The money's no good there. Turned it over, pages over. Ah, he said, look, he said, see you through the winter, he said. How would you like to do a bit of stoking? Well, I suppose we can always got to make a start somewhere. Well, look, he said, go up. He said, I'll give you a card, go up and see a clerk of works. He said, go in the Queen's Camp. He said, it's the Royal Engineers. So I went up there, saw this bloke. He said, yeah, he says, we want some stokers. He said, well, do you know anything about it? He said, no. Well, he said, that's all right. Others don't as well. So